Hello everyone. Welcome to this session on earning a master's in data science at a top tier US university. We will be talking about each and everything related to the field of data science, and especially when we talk about MS in the USA. We'll be talking about all the different aspects of it. But before we actually begin with this session, I want a quick confirmation in the chat whether I'm clearly visible, whether I'm audible or not. Please do let me know in the chat. As soon as you guys will confirm in the chat box, we'll be starting with this session right away. I already see a lot of people are saying hi, hello. Okay, Varsha, Amol, Shivam, Mohammed, Zahir. Hello everybody. I hope all of you are having a lovely evening. Please just let me know whether I'm clearly audible, whether I'm visible or not. Once you will confirm, we will be starting off with this session right away. Yes, Dr. Rahul Singh is saying yes. Okay, perfect. Shobit Shukla, Abhimanyu, everybody is saying yes. Great, great. I love the energy, and that is the only expectation I have from you guys today. I want all of you to be very, very interactive throughout. So if you have any questions, any queries, any doubts, please do let me know in the chat box and we'll make sure that we clarify all those questions. And if certain things are left, I'll tell you how you can connect with our program managers and they'll be helping you out with all of that. So let's get started with this session today. First of all, let me tell you what all we are going to cover in this session. We will be starting this session first of all by understanding what data science is. A lot of you might be from a data science field or a computer science field, and you might already know what exactly is data science. But for people who have no idea about the field of analytics and data science, we will be covering it in brief. Then we will be understanding the different stages which are involved in the data science process. Then the skills which are needed in data science. We'll be talking about the technical skills as well as the non-technical skills. Then we'll talk about the MS in the USA. We'll be talking about MS in data science specifically. What is the eligibility criteria? What are the different exams you need to clear? What exactly is the score requirement? What is this holistic approach which is required by the admission committee in the USA? What are the top universities for that matter? We will be covering each of these aspects: eligibility criteria, choosing the right universities, preparing for GRE and TOEFL, which is a language proficiency, English language proficiency test, and this is your graduate record examination. We will be understanding the different sections in these exams, what is the good score which is required by most of the universities in the USA, then primary components of SOP, that is your statement of purpose, and LORs, that is your letter of recommendations, and finally a few job roles which are very, very important in the area of data science. And then towards the end, we will be having a Q&A session where whatever you guys may have a few questions related to MS in the USA or the field of data science, please put it in the chat box. I'll be taking those questions throughout this entire live session, but towards the end we will spare some 5 to 10 minutes where specifically I'll focus only on the questions. But before we start with this session and start with the introduction to data science, I want to clarify one thing, that if you want a one-on-one session, you have any clarification required, then please go to our description. There will be a form there. Go to that form, fill that form. Our program managers and experts will reach out to you and they will help you with all your questions related to the field of data science when we are talking about MS in the USA. So please take a minute or two and fill that form properly so that our program managers, our team experts can reach out to you and can help you with all the details that you might require related to all these programs that we are talking about. All right, I already see a lot of enthusiasm. People are saying hi, hello. So again, I formally welcome all of you. And now it's time for us to get started with this session. So the first question is, what is data science? What do you understand by data science? As you can see on the screen, data science is the study of data. What are we doing right now? I am talking to you through internet. What is that? We are generating a lot of data. We all use Instagram, we all use WhatsApp. What are we doing eventually? We are doing nothing, but we are using data. Tons and tons of data we are generating every day, every moment. You are booking Uber to go to your office or to go to your college. What are we doing there? We are doing nothing but generating again a lot of data. Can we utilize that data to find some insights, to find some useful and meaningful conversation out of it? Well, yes, and that's what data science is precisely about. So data science is the art and science of data, It involves developing methods of recording data, then storing that data, and finally analyzing that data. You must have heard about tools like Power BI. You must have heard about tools like Tableau. What do we do in those tools? We do data visualization. So first of all, we have the data. We will record that data, store that data, then analyze it through different machine learning algorithms. And we will find some meaningful insights out of it, which can help the businesses. So it involves developing methods of recording, storing, and analyzing the data to effectively extract useful information or meaningful information to make informed decisions. The goal of data science is to gain insights and knowledge from any type of data. That can be your structured data or can be your unstructured data as well. In simple words, data science is the art of discovering patterns and trends from vast volumes of data using modern analytical tools and techniques to draw meaningful insights and make business decisions. Let me make it simpler for you. Just imagine an Excel sheet. If you have 5 rows filled, you will be able to figure out a few things that okay, maybe it's some marks are written, some numbers are written. You will be able to figure out that okay, Rohan got these many marks or Amit goes these many marks, and you will be able to figure out a few things. But imagine thousands and lakhs of rows in Excel sheet. How will you be able to analyze that bulk of data, which is big data basically? How will you be able to do it? You will have to use some programming language to analyze that much data. How will you do that? What kind of insights you can get from it? How can you use those insights into the business and make better decisions and get to better and more informed decisions? That's what data science is all about. When we talk about data science, it's nothing but discovering patterns and trends from vast volumes of data using modern analytical tools, machine learning algorithms, and techniques to draw meaningful, insightful conversation out of it, to get some beautiful insights out of it, which can really help the businesses in different industries. You talk about Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato. All of these companies, all of these startups are doing nothing but using the data which is being generated over the years, using it to make better and better choices, make better and better informed decisions. For example, when we talk about Amazon, we talk about Flipkart. Whenever you want to order something, there will always be some recommendations. Similarly, when we go to Netflix, we go to Amazon Prime, Hotstar, there are always a few things that this you might like or this you may like. How come all those companies like Netflix and all these platforms are able to show us recommendations? They are doing nothing but analyzing the data that we have already generated. We are watching a type of content, a particular genre of content we are watching on these platforms. Based upon that data, they are telling us that this is something you have watched previously. So we are assuming that this is something you might like. And here's the recommendation. Similarly, the kind of stuff you order from Amazon. Let's say you order a lot of home decor, or let's say you order a lot of stationery, or let's say you order a lot of shoes from different brands. Then they will, based upon that data, they will be showing you recommendations. That's nothing but artificial intelligence, which is again a branch of data science. So that's the beauty of data science. You can make better decisions by analyzing the data and make it easier for the other person. And that's the whole point. And there are so many businesses working only and only on data. And if you talk about the application of data science is vastly used in all the industries. You talk about any industry, particularly, let's say we talk about Great Learning, which is an educational technology company. Do we use data? Yes, we do. We are right now conducting this live session. All we are doing is generating tons and tons of data. You talk about any e-commerce, you talk about Swiggy, you talk about Amazon. They are also using that data. You talk about pharmaceutical, they are using that data too. You talk about insurance and banking, you talk about fraud detection there. There also we are doing nothing but generating and using the data to make better informed decisions, to draw meaningful insights and make better and much better decisions basically. So that's the whole point of data science, and I hope that you have got a basic understanding of what data science is. Again, if you have any questions, any confusion, any ideas that you might want to share, please do put it in the chat box and we will make sure that we clarify those doubts. All right. Now, moving forward, why data science? Now, you might ask that there are so many different fields. Why are we specifically talking about data science? What is this hype about data science? I'm pretty sure that if you are a young person, you are in your college, you must have heard about the term data science, because exactly everybody is talking about data science today. There's so much hype about it. There are so many career opportunities in this particular area. How? Why are people talking about it? Why is there so much interest in data science? The reason is very simple. Data science can answer a lot of questions, like which route will help me reach faster to my destination. For example, currently I am sitting in my office and I have to go. I am in Bangalore right now. I have to go from this place to my home. What will I do? I'll open the Google Maps and I will figure out which route is better for me and I'll take a Uber. Again, I'll be using the data there. So that's nothing but an application of data science. Similarly, we talk about matches. There's so much interest in that as well. Who will be winning the World Cup this year? This is a question which can be answered with the help of data science. We can predict that. Will this AC work for next 5 years or not? That is also something that we can figure out with the help of data science. Again, an application of data science. How many viewers like the same kind of movies? As I was giving you the example of Netflix or Prime. When you're watching a particular type of stuff, they will give you recommendations. That is also nothing but an application of data science. And that is why, because we can answer so many questions, these are just four, we can answer thousands and lakhs of more questions like this one. We can make predictions and we can make better and better decisions with the application of data science. And that is the precise reason why there is so much hype and so much interest in this particular area. We will be figuring that out in a later part of the session. Let for now understand this example of Google Maps that I gave you. So how does Google know the traffic condition between where you are and where you want to reach? You must be knowing about the Bangalore floods recently in Bangalore. So in Bangalore, we had these floods. So currently the floods were there in Gurgaon as well, that is Gurugram. So there in the Google Maps, we were simply able to see that there were certain areas which were marked red and it was clearly mentioned that there are Bangalore floods there. How do we get to know? How is Google able to make that decision where it knows that, okay, there is a flood there and you should not take this route? How can Google inform us about that? How does Google know the traffic condition between where you are and where you want to reach? How does Google determine the fastest way to reach your destination? How is Google able to do that? The answer behind that is nothing but data science. Now, how can we use data science there? In what way we are using data science when we talk about Google Maps particularly? So Google Maps collects data every day from multiple reliable sources that primarily include smartphones. It continuously combines the data from drivers and passengers. You are booking the Uber cab. You are booking something, right? There's some data that you are generating as a user, as a passenger. And similarly, the other end of the party, maybe the person who's driving the vehicle, is also using. So from all those drivers, passengers, there's a lot of data that is generated. To continuously combine that data and make some better decisions out of it, that is exactly what Google Maps is doing. So Google Maps is collecting data every day from multiple reliable sources, including our smartphones, the major contribution to that. It continuously combines data from drivers, passengers, etc., and make use of the machine learning algorithms or ML algorithms. Google Maps sends real-time traffic updates by colored lines on the traffic layers. So whenever there's a lot of rush and there's a lot of congestion, it will show us the red lines. If there is floods, it will show us maybe some blue or red lines again. There's always a better way of saying that. Visually, we can simply see that, okay, there's a lot of traffic in this area. So maybe I should not take this path and I should go home from this particular path, or I should commute from this particular path. We can make those simpler decisions with the help of this simple example or simple application of data science. This helps users find their optimal route and even determine which routes and areas should be avoided due to roadwork or accidents. For example, back in Delhi, once I saw that because of this metro construction, there was a lot of jam, there was a lot of traffic, and Google Map will inform you that because of the accident or because of the road work, because of some construction work, you should not take this path. You will end up wasting a lot of your time. So you should rather take this path. So these are the simpler, better decisions that we will be able to take with the help of data science. And that's just one example of Google Maps we have taken. There can be 1,000 more examples like that. Now again, let's try and understand that what are the different stages which are involved in this data science process. So before I cover these stages, I want all of you to let me know in the chat box whether you have understood whatever we have discussed till now. If you have any questions, you want to share any ideas, you have any experience in data science, what do you think about it? What do you think about the career opportunities in this area? Why do you think there's so much hype about it? Do let me know in the chat box, please. Okay, I see Amol has a complaint that he tried calling and there was no response. Amol, I'll make sure that by the end of this session, this problem is solved. All you need to do is you just need to go to our description and fill the form. Once you'll fill the form, there will not be any confusion, and most probably the team will reach out to you within next few days itself. So make sure you fill the form which is given in the description box. Once you'll fill that form, our experts, our program managers will reach out to you and will help you clarify all your questions about data science and MS in the USA in this particular field. All right. Great. So now let's get started by understanding that what are the different stages which are involved in the data science process. So there are 6 stages that I have written which kind of sums it up. So number 1 is defining the problem. First of all, you need to define the problem. What exactly is the problem? If you do not know what exactly is the problem, you do not spend some time in understanding the industry, in understanding the business, and eventually figuring out what exactly is the problem that the user or the customer is facing, you will never be able to solve it. So the very first thing is defining the problem, then obtaining the data. For example, I see that the sales in a particular company, say XYZ Private Limited, is not good. So that can be a problem, that the sales is not good. Now what can I do? I need to obtain the data. First of all, we will see what is the performance in the last few months. We will see what is the performance in the last few years. We will see the performance in other different areas, maybe in the other units, marketing unit, maybe in some other stuff. We need to obtain the data. Obtaining the data is a very rigorous activity, and it takes around 19 to 20% time of the entire data science process. Then comes the major area, which is cleaning the data. Now the data that you are obtaining will not be error free. There will be a lot of errors in that. There will be a lot of duplicates in that. Maybe the data is unstructured. So you need to make sure that you convert it to a standardized format. You clean the data, which will take around 50 to 60% of the whole time of this entire data science process. Once you have defined the problem, obtained the data, and finally have cleaned it as well, then you have to do EDA, that is exploratory data analysis. Once you perform the EDA, then data modeling, and finally data visualization. For you as a technical person, it might be easy to understand the ML algorithms and find beautiful insights from the data. But if you are making it understand to a person, maybe a few stakeholders who can't be, not everybody is going to be very tech savvy, not everybody is going to understand the technical aspect of it. So you have to make sure whatever solution you have given to that problem which was defined in the earlier stage, how can you visually represent it for the easier grasp of it for the other person who's maybe not so good with the technical stuff. So that's all data visualization is all about. And in data visualization, then again comes a lot of tools such as Tableau or maybe RStudio if you are using R, and then maybe Power BI. All those are different tools with the help of which you can visualize the data and show the insights and a good relations between all the different variables. So that's how the entire process of data science works. Now, as I already told you, that data science is used in almost every industry. You talk about pharma, there are so many equipment which are built, and there's a lot of prediction which is done whether that person can have cancer in next 5 years or not. All those things can be sold and can be defined with the help of data science. In the sports industry, retail and e-commerce, I have already given you the example of different e-commerce like Uber, Ola, Swiggy, Zomato, and so many other e-commerce platforms where data is used to generate ideas and to make things easier for the users as well as the customers. In the telecom industry, healthcare, insurance, I told you and gave you the example of fraud detection that can be done with the help of data science by analyzing the data. Supply chain, banks, all those are nothing but different industries in which data science is used. So clearly there's a lot of hype about data science, but it's worth it because definitely this field has its application in all the sectors and all the industries across. US Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts that by 2026 there will be 11.5 million jobs in data science and analytics, and that is why there are so many jobs. So definitely the world is getting more and more digitalized day by day. Before pandemic, things were different. In today's time and world, everything is digitalized. Everything we need technology, we use data. And since we are using a lot of technology and we are moving towards that, hence we are generating a lot of data as well. Now, since we are generating a lot of data, we need more and more people to clean that data, to find insights from that data. And hence there is a more requirement of people who can analyze the data, who can perform the art and science of the data, who can be data scientists and can give businesses different insights, meaningful insights about which can help the business overall. So that's the job of a data scientist technically. Now, that is the main reason that why there are so many openings for data scientists and business analysts and data analysts and data analytics people, because that is exactly what the world is moving towards. We are becoming more and more tech heavy. We are moving towards a world where things are getting digitized day by day. And hence, we are generating a lot of data, and hence we need more and more people who can perform analysis and can give us insights from that raw data. So that's the whole point of it. Now, why MS in data science? You might ask that, okay, data science is a good field, but why do we need to specifically go for a Masters of Science in this particular area? So first of all, as I already told you, data science is adopted by thousands of companies across the globe. It's not just in India, it's not just in US, it's across the world. Data science is one particular field which is just getting hyped and is adopted by all the companies across. High paying jobs with constant requirements. Even when you talk about the average salary, maybe in Indian rupees or in US dollar as well, average salary for data scientists is much higher. The reason is very simple, because the requirement of data science is also very high. Then trending career path for decades ahead and a very diverse exposure. Because when you are using data, as I told you, you can work in any industry. Data is getting used in all these industries, healthcare sector, banking sector, any other industry as well. And hence you will be able to get a better diverse exposure as well. That is the precise reason you should go for MS in data science. Now, what are the different skills which are required in data science? Database knowledge, for example SQL, you might require that. Mathematics, good knowledge of statistics. In mathematics, especially when we talk about probability or all those things will be required. Permutation, combination will be required to perform analysis later on. Statistics, all the mean, median, mode, all those things, standard variance, those things will be required in data science as well. Then programming tools, you will require programming languages like Python, R. All those languages will again help you. Can we do data analytics with the help of Excel as well? Yes, that can be done. But if the data is too huge, then you might require programming languages like Python, R, and other languages too, which can really help you. Then data wrangling, machine learning concepts. In machine learning, you need to know different algorithms, data visualization, and the different tools, big data. So those are the technical skills you might require. And then definitely only the technical skills will not be enough. You need to interact with the stakeholders. You need to make sure that the communication is good. You need intellectual curiosity. I told you the very first step of the data science process is to define the problem. How will somebody be able to define a problem if that person is not curious? So one thing which is a must for a data scientist is intellectual curiosity, so that the person is able to ask the question, why? Why do we have this problem? The sales is not working. Why? What is the reason behind it? First of all, you need to start with this why question and what question. Then only you will be able to understand what exactly is happening and will eventually be able to solve it with the help of data science. But till the time you ask that question why with your intellectual curiosity, it won't be possible to solve any kind of problem. Then communication skills. In data science, you do the work, you do the machine learning algorithms, you do solve the problem, you visualize the data, everything is done. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure you communicate the same clearly and precisely to the person sitting in front of you. How can you do that? With your communication skills. Performing the mathematical analysis, statistical analysis, and doing all of that is one part of it. Then communicating the same in the easiest way possible to the stakeholders involved is the second thing, and is again equally important. So you have to make sure that you work on your communication skills as well. Business acumen. If you are working in a particular industry, you are working in the marketing and you are analyzing the data there in marketing analytics, then you will require some kind of business acumen. Similarly, if you are working in the banking sector, if you have good knowledge of the business, then only you will be able to understand the problem properly and will be able to provide a solution as well. So having some business acumen is again very, very important. And then definitely collaboration. As I told you, the exposure that you get in data science is very, very diverse. You need to connect with people from different backgrounds. Not everybody will be from a computer science or an informational technology background. There will be people who are into different stuff, so who come from a different background. You need to collaborate with people, compromise on a few things, and you need to figure out how you collaborate, communicate, and eventually find a solution to an existing problem with the help of or with the application of data science. So that's the whole point. And these are a few non-technical skills that you definitely will require. Now, the next question that you might have is that, okay, data science is good, but why USA? There are so many good colleges in India. There are so many good colleges in other countries as well, maybe Europe, and there are different programs. Then we can definitely we need to figure out that where we can perform MS there, right? So those things are very, very important. We'll be talking about why to study MS in the USA. What is the reason behind that? But again, before we go to that, I would request all of you students to go to the description and fill the form which is given to you. So if you want to understand in the depth of it, that why to study MS in the USA, why to study MS in data science, if you have any questions, any queries, and you want one-on-one session, please go to the description, fill the form which is given to you. And once you'll fill that form, our program managers and experts will reach out to you and will make sure that whatever doubts you guys may have, those are clarified. So please make sure you go to the description and fill the form. I'll give you 1 minute for that to fill the form. Until then, I'll be taking a few questions from the chat if I see anything. So please do let me know if you have any questions, any queries in the chat box. I see somebody is again asking me about contact. So all you need to do is just go to the description, fill the link which is given to you, the form which is given to you. Once you will fill your details, our team members, the experts on the abroad programs will reach out to you and will make sure that all your questions are clarified. So I hope that helps. Now to understand that why study MS in the USA, the first is very simple. USA is home to top global universities. You talk about Ivy Leagues, you talk about any other college, Harvard University, Princeton University, what are the most famous? Johns Hopkins University, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Stanford University, Columbia University, Yale University, any other college as well, California Institute of Technology. All those are nothing but top global universities. So that is one of the major reasons that when we are talking about USA, there are some top universities, and definitely you can be a part of those universities, which all the things that we will be covering in this session, and you'll get a better idea about it. That's definitely an emerging industries. Then 36 months post graduation work visa for STEM programs. STEM are your science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programs. You will be getting a 3 years, which is your 36 months post graduation work visa as well. So if you complete your graduation and you want to work there as well, you can stay for 3 years and you can work as well. So that's again one of the beauties of studying or doing or pursuing your MS in the USA. Then top tier academic opportunities. If you talk about the US university, in India the major focus is only on the academics, but when we talk about USA, the focus is not just on the academics but also on the other part, how you grow as a person, as a personality. That is also extremely important. You get a great practical exposure. You really understand how things are applied in the real world situation. You also understand the theory part of it. So a combination of these three things gives you a very good opportunity in terms of understanding something and then be able to apply it. There's a big difference between what you do and then how you apply it in the real world. Learning something is one thing, but how you apply it to the real world problem, that is another thing. And that is something which is covered in a most beautiful way when we talk about countries like USA. So better career opportunities and high starting salary as well. 50% less tuition fees, hybrid study options. I'm sure you must have heard about these hybrid study options, where 1 year you can just do your job, and whatever you are doing right now, you don't need to go anywhere. You can do it online. And then in the second year, you can go to USA, go to that particular university, and then do and complete your course from there. So with that, you can save 50% of your fees. First of all the in your first year, you will be able to save all the accommodation fees and the fees which is there for traveling and staying there, accommodation, whether it's on campus or off campus. All that cost you will be able to save. And also you will be able to save your opportunity cost, which comes with this online program, where 1 year you can spend in your own country doing your job. Since you are doing your job, you will not be losing on that money. You will be doing that in that extra time. So definitely the opportunity cost which is involved will also be less. And that's how you will be able to save around your 50% of the tuition fees, which will definitely be a great idea. So if you do not want to spend a lot of fees and you want to go for MS in the USA programs, all you can do is you can choose one hybrid study program. For example, if you want to, let's say, go to Johns Hopkins University, in that case, what you can do is 1 year you can do your job, and side by side you can complete your 1 year online program. And then in the second year, you can go to the campus of that particular university and complete your program. So there are programs like that as well, which are your hybrid study options. You can consider that if you want to save around 50% of the tuition fees. Then strong emphasis on research and practical exposure. There's a great research orientation as well as practical orientation in terms of how things work in the real world, applying what you have learned in the class to the real world problems. That's again something which is covered very well when we talk about the USC universities. Then wide choice of specializations. There are a lot of specializations that you can choose from. In this particular session, we are talking about the top most, that is data science. So computer science and data science are the few specializations which are at the top, and data science is one of the most brilliant choice that you can make if you want to get into the field of data science. So MS in data science from USA is definitely brilliant, because you get good academic opportunities, you get amazing career opportunities, the average high salaries, everything is great, and you can even save your fees if you choose a hybrid study option. Then renowned faculties and diverse exposure, because as I told you, USA is home to some top global universities, and since there are so many good universities there, a lot of people from all across the world will come to study in those universities. And if you also go and be a part of those universities, you will also get an opportunity to interact with students from other countries, other cultures, and other backgrounds. And that's how you will get a very good exposure in terms of diversity, in terms of collaboration, which is again a very important skill, as we learned in the non-technical skills for data science. So that's how you build that kind of situation where you learn how to interact with people, how to communicate with people, and that is definitely going to help you in your personal as well as professional journey once you become a data scientist. Now, the next question that you might ask me is, what is the eligibility criteria for MS in the USA? So first of all, you need to have a bachelor's degree. So if you are from an engineering background, you need a 4 years engineering or BS undergraduate. That is one thing. So overall, you should have a 16 years of education, 12 years of school, and around 4 years your BS undergraduate or 4 years of engineering. Then you need a proof of English language proficiency. So for that, there are two famous exams. One is your IELTS and one is your TOEFL. TOEFL is widely accepted in US universities. So we will be talking in detail about the TOEFL exam. Then GRE. GRE, however, is waived off by most universities now. But still, GRE is a very important exam that you might consider if you want to go for some top universities. It's graduate record examination, and we will be talking about the different section of this examination and what exactly is the score that you might consider if you are planning to get into MS in data science for these top USA universities. Then two more things which are extremely important is statement of purpose, that is your SOP, and letters of recommendation. Now these letter of recommendations, SOP, what are the different components of it, how do you receive it, those are again very important things, and we will be covering that in the upcoming part of this session. Let's start with the other academic qualifications that you need. So I already told it to you that in US universities, admission is done using a holistic approach. Now you might ask me that what is a holistic approach? So when we talk about famous universities or institutions within India, let's say we talk about IITs or IIMs, one thing is that the admission committee focus mostly on the scores that you have got or the academic background that you have. But when we talk about US universities, the focus is on the holistic approach. What have you done other than your academics? Most definitely your CGPA, your marks and your scores in these exams, your scores in TOEFL or GRE might be important. But other than that, what are the extracurricular activities that you were involved in? What are the recommendations that you have? Do you have any letters of recommendation or not? Have you done any community service? Did you do volunteering for some NGO or not? Did you work on something other than your college, other than your studies as well? Were you part of some dramatic society? Were you part of some photography club? Whether you have done those things or not, that is also equally important, and a lot of attention is given to these things when we talk about the admission committee in these top US universities. Then if you have any special talents or passions, those are nothing but very, very important when you submit your profile in these US universities. So if you are in college right now and you are planning to do your MS in data science in USA, you want to consider that first thing is you can go to our description, fill the form, and our program managers will reach out to you. But if you really want to start, the very first thing that you can do is make sure you maintain a good CGPA, and along with that you involve yourself into different things as well, which can give you a holistic view to the admission committee when you will be applying. Maybe you can start working with a few NGOs, you can do a few projects, you can work on a few research projects under your faculty, or maybe you can do some community service, you can work or do volunteering, you can participate in some dramatics fests or in some other cultural activities that might be a part of your college, or maybe any other way. So how you contribute other than your academics is also a very important factor when it comes to getting admission into these top US universities. So make sure you start doing all those things, and hence you can make sure that your chances for getting into those universities are much higher. Now, the one thing which is extremely important is when we talk about US universities is there are thousands of universities there. I already named a few, starting from Harvard to Massachusetts to Johns Hopkins to so many other universities. Which one is right for you? How will you choose the right university? So that starts first of all by choosing your specialization wisely. You need to choose your wisely the specialization that you want to take. Now, as I already told you, US has so many specializations. You want to do your MS in marketing, you'll get something. You want to do your MS in computer science, you'll get something. You want to do your MS in data science, you'll get something. You need to choose it wisely, that what is the specialization that you want to do. Then you need to check the university ranking. For that you can even check the QS ranking which is given, and you can figure out that where the university stands overall. Then explore the course curriculum, whether it is aligned with your personal and professional goals or not. Then look into the accommodation, on campus accommodation or off campus. Where exactly is your college? How much will you have to pay when it comes to accommodation? All those questions become extremely important. Then return on investment, that is the economic aspect of it, that how much will you be paying in terms of your tuition fees or your accommodation. Understand the economic aspect and understand how much you are spending and how much you will be able to earn eventually. So that's your return on investment. How much are you investing on that education in pursuing that MS in data science or MS in any other specialization, and eventually what are the career opportunities in that particular area, whether you will be able to get that return that you have invested or not. Make that decision. Once you have done that, then you can even attend the virtual seminars or get on a few one-on-one session that we are providing as well, right? So all those things are equally important, but choosing the right university along with the right specialization is the most important thing that you need to focus on. Now, how do you prepare for GRE? The next question will be that there are two major exams, that is TOEFL for language proficiency and GRE for your subject knowledge or your problem solving skills. So how exactly do you focus on these things? What are the different sections in this exam? Let's start by understanding GRE. So in GRE, there are three major sections: analytical writing, verbal reasoning, and quantitative reasoning. The analytical writing, verbal reasoning, and quantitative reasoning portions of the GRE test make up for the majority of the test. And students have a total of 3 hours and 45 minutes to finish the exam. The total GRE score is 340. If you score somewhere around 290 or more than that, your chances of getting into good universities are much higher. Of course, it depends upon the admission committee and your overall other profile, letters of recommendation, statement of purpose, and so many other things. How's your academic background and overall things. But if you have a score of 290 and more, your chances of getting into those universities are much higher. So make sure you prepare accordingly. In the analytical writing, you will be analyzing an issue and analyzing an argument as well. In verbal reasoning, there will be questions related to your verbal reasoning, how exactly you understand and make a meaning of something that you are reading, how valuable insights you are able to get out of it. Then quantitative reasoning, where questions will be related to quants. So those are the few sections, 3 sections in GRE, which make up for the majority of the test. You will get 3 hours and 45 minutes to do it, and the maximum score that you can get is 340. A good score is set to be 290 or more than that. So as I told you already, that in analytical writing, there will be 1 section and you will be getting 2 tasks, and total time given to you will be around 60 minutes. In verbal reasoning, you get 2 sections and around 40 questions will be there, and you will again get 60 minutes. In quantitative reasoning, you get 10 minutes extra, that is 70 minutes, again to do 40 number of questions, and there will be 2 sections in quantitative reasoning as well. The structure of the exam is very similar to exams that you must have given in India as well. However, the approach to it is a little different. So these are the major sections. If you are planning to prepare, start preparing right away and make sure you score somewhere close to 290 or more than that to increase your chances of getting into some top US universities. Then comes the English proficiency language test, which is your TOEFL. So there are 2 tests, as I already told you, IELTS and TOEFL. TOEFL is widely accepted, so that is a better choice that you can make. TOEFL is a standardized test that measures your proficiency of the English language. TOEFL in itself is known as Test of English as a Foreign Language. It evaluates your proficiency in speaking and understanding English by looking at your reading, speaking, listening, and writing skills of the language. So there are 4 major sections in the TOEFL exam. As I already told you, that is reading, listening, speaking, and writing. You'll get around 30 score in each of these sections. So the total score for the TOEFL exam is 120, and 80 and above is said to be a good score for TOEFL. In reading, you will get 30-40 questions. Listening also, you will get around 28 to 38 questions. Speaking, you get 4 tasks, and writing, you will again get 2 tasks. So in reading, you will have to read 3 to 4 academic texts and responding to questions based on them. In listening, you will have to answer questions based on lectures and dialogues and classroom discussions that you have just listened to. In speaking, candidates will have to talk based on reading and listening exercises that you have already done, and you will have to give your viewpoint and your opinion on a common topic. In writing, you will be writing, and that must support your written arguments with evidence from reading and listening assignments in essays. So these are the 4 skills that you might require in any language: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Total score you can get in 1 section is 30. So overall score in TOEFL is around 120, out of which if you score 80 and above, that is said to be a good score. So I hope you have got a basic understanding of what are the different sections in GRE and TOEFL. As I told you, GRE is your graduate record examination, that is for around 3 hours and 45 minutes. Total score is 340. TOEFL is your English proficiency language test, test of English as a foreign language. The total score is 120, out of which 80 and above is supposed to be good. And there are 4 main sections in TOEFL, that is reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And when we talk about GRE, there are 3 major sections, that is analytical reasoning, analytical writing, verbal reasoning, and quantitative reasoning, as you can see right here on the screen. Then each of these particular section will have further some subsections. For example, in verbal reasoning, we have 2 sections with 40 questions. In quants, we have 2 sections with 40 questions. In analytical writing, you get 1 section, but there will be 2 tasks. One is on analyzing an argument and one is on analyzing an issue. So these are the major sections and the major tests that you need to be prepared for. Then comes statement of purpose and letter of recommendation. Statement of purpose is again one of the most important things when we talk about admission in the US top universities. So statement of purpose is an essay cum application written by a student. So a lot of students, it's basically, as the name suggests, statement of purpose. You need to understand what exactly is your purpose for going to the US universities, and you also need to understand what is your purpose of choosing a particular specialization. If you are going for MS in data science, why are you choosing data science? What exactly is the reason behind that? Why are you choosing US as the university? US university or US as the country to pursue your MS or pursue your Master of Science? What is the reason behind it? That is something which should be clarified. You need to show your interest in the specialization in the course in the university through your SOP or statement of purpose. In USA universities, a statement of purpose carries significant weightage in the admission process, especially for MS programs. And MS in data science, if you are considering, you need to show why you are interested in the field of data science. Where does this interest generate from? Why are you interested in a particular university? Why are you interested in a US university instead of your home ground university? That is something you need to clarify and justify through your statement of purpose. Then this essay gives the admission committee an idea about who you are and how you will add value to the university. So that is something which should be clarified from your statement of purpose. Now, what are the components of a good SOP? You should talk a little bit about your personal background, your academic details, what are the scores that you have got, if you have cracked any scholarship, all those things you need to cover. Your financial background, that is optional. Professional experience, if you have done any job, any full-time job, any freelancing, talk about all those things. Why you are choosing a specific country, that is USA? Why you are choosing a specific course, let's say MS in data science? Why are you choosing it specifically? Then extracurricular activities, whatever you had done in terms of community service and all those things that we talked about. So to show that the admission committee can take an holistic approach towards your profile. Then any published work, if you have published a research paper in any journal, conference, talk about those things as well. And what are your short-term and long-term career goals? That is also something that you must include in your SOP, which will make it a awesome or a good SOP for the admission committee in the US universities to consider. So make sure all these 9 components are there incorporated in your SOP so that it does look good and it serves the purpose of a good SOP. Then letter of recommendation. As the name suggests, a letter of recommendation is the recommendation given to you as a student by your professors, reporting managers, or any project guide. A letter of recommendation, also known as famously LOR, is a document by your professor, project guide, or reporting manager attached with your application. So generally, this LOR is sent directly to the university that you are considering by the person that you are asking to. For example, your professor, project guide, or reporting manager, who will be writing the letter of recommendation for you as a student. Then it is written by somebody reliable with whom you have worked before, and it supports your knowledge, abilities, and expertise and accomplishments. What is the work that you have done with that person? What are the different things that you worked on? What are your strengths? What are your knowledge, abilities, and skills? That is something which should be highlighted from your letter of recommendation by the person who's writing it for you. Now, the primary sections or the major components of any LOR are definitely it should be on official letterhead, then the title and the address of the university where the letter is being submitted. So if you are applying to Johns Hopkins University, you should make sure that the title and the address of the university is there on that document. Then the student and the employees or the employee's full name, your full name basically if you are the one who's considering applying to those US universities, referee's position as well as how well they know you or know the applicant, then specific accomplishments of the student employee that are directly relevant to the course being applied to. What are the accomplishments that you have? What is the knowledge, skills, or abilities that you have shown while working with that person who's writing the LOR for you? That is something which should clearly be mentioned in your LOR. Then a conclusive statement about the referee's level of support and enthusiasm, as well as an invitation to contact them for additional information. So these are the major sections that you should definitely incorporate in your LOR or ask the person who's writing it for you. And this is generally sent to the university, and a lot of significant weightage is given to your statement of purpose and letter of recommendation. Now, what are the few roles in data science? Now, you'll ask me a question that we have understood what data science is. We have understood that why MS in data science is a very good choice that we can make. But what are the different roles that you might get after you have pursued your MS in data science? So there are 5 major roles we will be discussing. However, there are plenty of roles that you can consider but the major roles are these 5 that we will be talking about now. So number 1 is data analyst. In data analyst, we talk about a person who is responsible to collect, process and perform analysis on large data sets. They also have to perform queries on the databases from time to time. If we talk about the average salary of a data analyst, that is written right over here, that is around $63,000. Then similarly, if you talk about a business analyst should have a good business acumen. We have understood this, that when we talk about a business analyst, or when we talk about data science in general, understanding the domain and the industry is very, very important. That's where the role of a business analyst comes into the picture. So business analyst has good domain knowledge and the understanding of the business problems. They provide solutions that are often technology based to enhance business processes. Then data engineer. A data engineer builds and tests scalable big data ecosystem for the businesses so that the data scientists can run their algorithms, systems that are stable and highly optimized. So data analyst and business analyst are generally entry level jobs. So even if you are in India, a lot of jobs which are offered to the freshers from the colleges are as data analyst and business analyst. And then from there, your journey of becoming a data scientist starts. And then two very important and which are paid really good roles are data scientist and machine learning engineer. So an ML engineer or machine learning engineer uses different algorithms and statistical modeling to make sense of data. They are also expected to perform A/B testing, build data pipelines, and implement common machine learning algorithms such as classification, clustering, etc. And a data scientist does all of it. A data scientist understands the challenges in business and comes up with the best solutions using modern tools and techniques to analyze, visualize, and build prediction models to make business decisions. We have understood that data science is about recording, storing, and analyzing the data. All of that combined together is done by a data scientist. And that's why if you see 148,000 US dollars is the average salary which is received. And if you are doing it from a good US university and you get placement opportunities after that, definitely it can go much more than that. So it is only going to help you. Now again, it is time for me to remind you that if you want a one-on-one session in data science, please go to our description and make sure you fill the form which is provided to you there, so that if you have any confusion, any doubts, our team can reach out to you, our experts can reach out to you and can help you clarify all those questions and all those doubts. So I'll give you a minute to fill that form which is provided in the description. Until then, if you have any questions, any queries, please do let me know in the chat box. Okay, somebody is asking me what is the difference between data analyst and data scientist. Technically, data analyst is a part of data scientist itself. So as a data analyst, as you can see over here, he is responsible to collect, process, perform analysis on the large data sets. But when we talk about a data scientist, it is a superset of it. So there you will be recording the data, collecting the data, all of that is definitely a part of it, but it is in the higher trajectory where other than just analyzing the data, processing it, collecting it, you will also be analyzing it and will be helping the businesses. So let's say you are a data scientist, you are hired for a healthcare industry, healthcare company. So there, first of all, you will be understanding the problem, that okay, this is the problem which exists in the business. Once you have understood the problem, identified the problem, defined the problem, then you will go on doing the exploratory data analysis by obtaining the data, collecting the data, and converting it to a standardized format which comes under your data wrangling process, cleaning the data, etc. Once you have done that, you have performed analysis on that, then you will have to do the visual representation of it so that you can make it make it very, very easy for the other person to grasp it. And you can use tools like Power BI and Tableau there to make sure that you can whatever you have done, whatever algorithms you have done, to show relation between different variables and what exactly is the answer to that first defined problem, right? So all of that entire process, that entire cycle is done by a data scientist. So I hope that is clear to you. So Chetan is asking me that I am working in an MNC in an operation department, but I want to change to any other field or in the field of data science. Will it be good for me? Yes, most definitely, Chetan. So if we talk about data science, definitely there's no second thought about it that it is one of the great opportunity that you can grab right now. We know that things are only going to get more and more digitized, and hence more and more data is going to be generated. There's no second thought about it. And since we are going to generate more and more data, definitely there will be better and more career opportunities. You talk about India, you talk about USA, you talk about any other country as well. Things are getting digitized, and hence more and more data is generated, and hence we need more and more people who can analyze that data and can provide us some meaningful insights from that raw data. So that's the job of a data scientist or people who are involved in this area or in this field of data science. So that's the beauty of it. So only the graph is going to increase exceptionally. So if you have some interest in data science, you can definitely consider going for MS in data science from a top US university. Aditya is asking me, I am in my first year of UG. How can I start from there? So Aditya, you don't need to worry, and it's a great thing that you are, searching about this and attending a session shows that you are genuinely interested in this field. So from now onwards itself, you can make sure that you are maintaining a good CGPA. Along with that, you are working on a few projects, internships, and a few things that we have talked about. So that overall, once you come to that stage where you will be applying to for MS in data science in the US universities, you have a good profile for the admission committee to consider. All right. Now let's understand a few things that you might ask. So I already see a few of the questions which are nothing but subsets of all these questions. So let me give a final answer to these questions so that a few things are already clarified. And then if I miss something, we still have 4 to 5 minutes left. You can ask me in the chat, and I'll make sure I give you clarification on those questions as well. So first question is, what are the career opportunities after MS in the USA? I already told you that if you are talking about USA, you talk about top 500 global fortunes. Out of those top 500 global fortune companies, around 122 companies are in USA. So you can imagine what exactly is the trend in USA. There are so many good companies. You talk about so many, different companies which are top at its game in different industries. Those are found in USA. So definitely the career opportunities are going to be more and more. So there is no second thought about it. If you do your MS in data science from USA, the career opportunities are going to be great, and you don't need to worry about it. Even when you talk in terms of average salary, that is much higher compared to any other country when we talk about USA. Then what is the minimum criteria for the CGPA? So it completely depends upon the college you are applying to, the university you are applying to, and the course and the specialization you are choosing. But if you are choosing data science from a top US university, it's a great idea to maintain a CGPA which is around 70% and above. Then what is the cost of studying MS in the USA? Again, it depends upon the specialization and the university you are choosing, but minimum 60,000 US dollar is the fees or the cost that you can expect. Then what TOEFL score is required for admission to the top universities? I already told you TOEFL has 4 different sections. Each section is of 30 marks. So total score that you can get in TOEFL is 120. Out of that, if you score 80 or above, that is supposed to be a good score. So 80 or above is the answer to this question. Then what GRE score is considered to be good? Again, I have explained this that GRE has 3 different sections, and all those sections combined are of 340 marks. So total score you can get in GRE is 340. Out of that, if you score 280 or more than that, or 290 or more than that, that is supposed to be a good score. So 290 and more is the answer to this question. Then when should I apply for the visa? So whenever you apply for any university and you receive an offer letter, then you will have to make your confirmation deposit. Once you pay your confirmation deposit, you will be receiving a I-20 form, which is a form which kind of shows that you are legally enrolled in a program in USA in particular university. And after that, you can go forward from there and you can start your interview process for the visa. I hope that answers the question. Then how many years of post-graduation work visa will I get? So this is also something that we have already discussed. The post graduation work visa will be for 3 years. That is 36 months for the STEM programs. That is science, technology, engineering and mathematics. So if you are going for MS in data science, you will be getting a 36 months post graduation work visa. Then what is the minimum experience required for admission into top universities? There's no experience requirement. Even if you are a fresher, you can directly go. So there's no minimum experience requirement as such. Then how can I apply for scholarships? Yes, there are a lot of chances you can go for scholarships, but it is dependent upon the admission committee and the specialization and the university you are choosing. It can be need based also, it can be merit based also. So either you will have some really good scores on the basis of which you can go for scholarship, or it can be based upon your needs. So either it's need based or merit based. That will be decided by the admission committee and the US top university that you are applying to. So these are the common questions that students generally have. We have already completed 1 hour. Now again, I'll wait for a minute or two. So if you have any questions, any queries, please do let me know in the chat box and we'll just make sure that all those questions are clarified. Okay, so somebody is asking me, can you substitute TOEFL for IELTS? So yes, a lot of universities will accept IELTS as well as TOEFL, and a lot of universities will specifically ask for TOEFL. So mostly US universities, the wide choice is TOEFL. So it's better to perform and prepare for TOEFL and write that exam, because that is widely accepted across all the US universities. Okay, somebody is asking me, after doing course, what are the chances in selection in top companies? 100% you will get chances. US is at the top of its game, and as I already told you, when we talk about these top universities, there's a lot of focus which is given on skill. You know, the main issue in a country like India is that there's a gap between passion and skills. That gap needs to be filled. You know, if your passion does not match with your skill, it's very, very hard to get a job. So that is not an issue in USA and in those universities. So if you have any kind of, you want to get some practical exposure, research exposure, you have some orientation towards it, that will be really helpful. Whatever you learn in class, you will be able to apply it to real world problems as well. You will be able to conduct research, you will get a good practical exposure too. So definitely you'll enhance your personality overall in terms of how you understand something, how you understand a concept, and how you apply it to the real world problems. So definitely you will be given a preference when it comes to the top companies as well. So you don't need to worry about that. All right, so I don't see any more questions. I again would like to request all the students, if you have any more questions, or I am, maybe because there's a lot of chat and I have missed a few questions here, please do make sure that you go to the chat box, go to the description of this particular session, fill the form which is given there. Once you'll fill that form, our program managers, our experts will reach out to you and will make sure that all your doubts are clarified. So if you want a one-on-one session, all you need to do is you just need to fill the form which is given in the description. Again, thanks a lot for showing so much enthusiasm. I see everybody was very, very interested and has asked me a lot of questions as well. So I'm genuinely very happy about the fact that all of you were very, very interactive. I formally thank all of you for giving me your time for around 1 hour and attending this session. Again, thanks a lot for attending this session. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any queries, any questions, please go in the description, fill the form, and our managers, program managers, experts will reach out to you and will help you with the further doubts. Thanks a lot for attending this session.